So this is question 3. Formulate 4 questions that will enable you to conduct stakeholders analysis in the system development. So stakeholders analysis is a very crucial part of a system development life cycle, and this helps you to understand, to know your stakeholders, their needs, their objectives, and what they expect from this system. So to formulate these questions, the first question that I will ask, or I will formulate, will be, who are the key stakeholders in the system development process? So this question can help us understand the individuals, groups, and even organizations that have an interest in the system success. So these stakeholders can include end users, the people who use the system, finally the management, different levels of management. We have customers, suppliers, authorities, and many other people. So who are they? Then the second question will be, what are the goals and expectations of each and every stakeholder? So understanding this objective and expectation of each stakeholder is essential. Why? Because they hope to achieve this from the system, and now this will help all the stakeholders to, or help you to align with their broader goals, so that wherever objective you have must also be aligned to the objectives or the goals of these stakeholders. Then the third question will be, how will the system impact each stakeholder? So try to assess the potential impact of the system on each stakeholder. It will involve things like understanding how the system might change their roles, responsibilities, workflow, and interactions. So identify both positive and negative impact, because if you don't identify that, there could be resistance to this system at the latter times. Then the last question I will formulate is, what are the concerns and the potential conflict among the stakeholders? So it is very common for stakeholders to have different interests, which can lead to conflict. There could be different expectations and even different objectives. Some will be profit oriented, some will be time. So you must ask about the concern and potential conflict, so that you can properly address these issues and find ways to mitigate when it is still early enough. Then the B part of the question says, explain the bookmark feature. The bookmark feature in the context of internet browsing. So what is a bookmark? All of us have been to internet. So a bookmark feature is also it's also called favorite, or in other devices it could be called shortcuts. So in this context, it is just a function that allows us to save the URL or the website addresses of a specific website, where maybe you will want to revisit that website later. Maybe there is a content there that you want to revisit later. So you just save it, so that it will give you a convenient way to keep track of this website or this web page that you found interesting. So that is the meaning of a bookmark feature. Then C, identify the type of cell referencing used in the spreadsheet expression below. So we have an expression there, equals, rank. Then inside bracket we have a $C, $3. We have colon, $A, $10. So this $sign shows us that this is absolute cell referencing. So what is absolute cell references? If you check on the $signs, both the column and the rows, they have $sign preceding these cells or these cell addresses. So this one will make them absolutely reference, only meaning that when this formula is copied to other cells, it will reference the first column in all the cells without changing the first cell. In our case, it is cell C3. So our cell C3 will not change. If it is multiplication, if it is ranking, if it is summation, it will continue to sum using constantly cell C3 as our reference cell. So that is what we call absolute cell referencing. But look at the second one. We have sum equals sum. Then the first part, $3 is absolutely referenced, and then the second part is not absolutely referenced, it is relatively referenced. It means that cell A will not be held to be used by all other cells. It will be changing as you move down the column. So this is a mixture. So we call this one a combination of mixed referencing and relative referencing. Just because you see the column reference A is absolute with $sign, while the other one, the A3 and A12 are relative. So when we copy these to other cells, the column reference will remain constant, A, because it has a $sign. But then the other one will adjust, will change depending on the position of the new cell. So that's a combination of mixed and relative cell referencing. Then part D of our question is saying differentiate between sorting and filtering as used in a worksheet data management. Very simple. Sorting involves just arranging the data in a specific order. I can decide to arrange my data based on maybe alphabetical order. I can decide to arrange my data based on which one is big or which one is small, so ascending or descending. So this order can be ascending from smallest to largest, descending from largest to smallest, or even alphabetical. Now, filtering, on the other hand, involves just displaying only some subset of your data that meets your criteria. You only want to see a particular data set that meets your need, that you want to see, and it will hide the other data. So you temporarily hide the rows that you don't want to see, or that does not match your specific need at that particular time, and you display the ones that you need, just like a filter. And then we have the E part. E part says differentiate between proofreading and formatting document as used in word processing. So proofreading, just as this English word, is just the process of carefully reviewing a document for error in grammar, spelling, punctuation, and overall language. So the major goal of proofreading is to eradicate any error. Could it be grammatical error? It could be you are just spaces you didn't put there correctly. You proofread to just eradicate them so that your work becomes clean and smart. But formatting refers to the visual representation, how the content is arranged. So you rearrange your content. It involves just adjusting maybe your font styles, margins, spacing, alignment, headers, so that your document is appealing, or it's visually appealing and readable. So that's the difference between proofreading and formatting. Proofreading, the main aim is to eradicate or remove error. Formatting is just to make it visually appealing, to change the formats. Then part F, a comprehensive backup plan is an essential tool for information security for the entire organization. Not only should the data on the corporate servers be backed up, but individual computers used throughout the organization should also be backed up. So with reference to the above statement, discuss 3 components of a good backup plan. So we always have backup plans. So depending on the policies that the company organization is using, depending on the duration that you take to back up your data, you can come up with a good plan. So the first component of a good plan will be data scope and classification. So the first step you will create, or you will do in doing your data backup, is to create a backup plan to identify and classify the types of data that need to be backed up. Sometimes in an organization, not all data may require same level of backing up, depending on how this data is crucial. Some will need to be backed up most frequently because they are very much essential, and the company cannot afford to lose such data. They are data that is used daily for the daily running of the organization. But we have other data, of course, that might be less sensitive and require less frequent backup. So you must categorize this data based on the importance. So you check on their sensitivity, and this will inform how regularly you need to back up this data. The second thing that the second component that you need to check on is backup strategies and schedules. So you must define the strategies and schedule based on this classification that you made. There are various backup types to consider. We talk about full backups, where all the data is copied or is backed up, regardless of whether whether it is important or crucial, regardless of anything. The second one is incremental backup, where only a copy of changes made since the last backup is backed up. And also we have what we call differential backup, where we copy the changes since the last full backup. So you decide on backup strategy and schedule. And lastly, storage and retention policies. So you must determine whether and how backups will be stored. It will include things like, will it be stored on site or off site? On site means, will you have a backup where you can physically access, or will it be somewhere that you cannot access physically? Would it be on a cloud, or could it be on some site that are virtual? So that is storage and retention policies. Then the G part of the question is asking, explain each of the following terms as used in internet. So we have cookies and blogs. So let's start with cookies. Cookies are just small pieces of data that website stores on a user website. They can be used to just track user interactions with the website and enhance various functionalities that enhance the browsing experience. For example, you go or you log into the website and there are data such as your shopping preference or shopping, the things you like shopping being stored there, or your browsing history, so that someone can easily trace and see which site did you visit last, or maybe your login credentials such as your username. There's a pop-up there that asks you, do you want to save or do you want us to save your password? So those are what we call cookies. They are just stored there. Then we have a blog. A blog is a short form of a web blog. So this type of a website, a log is just a website or an online platform where just an individual or a group of people publish their content in some chronological order. So these postings or these blogs typically appear in some order, with the most recent post at the top. So blogs cover a wide range of topics. There are bloggers who talk about different topics ranging from family, health, politics, personal experiences, opinions, hobbies, news. All those ones are being tackled when you're using your blog.